says that I can't sign for it. Has to have the zoning board of adjustment. And I've only been working on it for 6 months. But
Call the meeting to order, it's 5 o'clock. Now it says we've got on here review and approve minutes from May 7th. We're going to put that on to the next meeting because I wasn't here and we need 2 votes for it and I have to abstain on it. Adjustments to agenda, we don't need any, do we, Lisa?
I don't think so.
Okay. Department updates, highway, do we have anything?
The only thing for highway is to, he got a quote from Blacktop for the paving of section on Powder Spring Road, so
That
this
bridge.
is the amount.
So we need to make a motion on
Yeah,
that.
and it's coming from reserves paving.
From the paving reserve?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
That road's in bad shape. That's a bad spot. Yeah, you drive across it every day.
Oh, yeah.
What road did you say it was?
It's the Powder Spring Bridge over the Wells River.
all right, I make a motion to approve paving or doing a skim coat of pavement on the Powder Spring Road Bridge for the amount of $5,190.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
All of those living on Powder Spring, thank you.
Anything else for highway is, I believe he's coming back to work on May 27th.
Okay.
Yeah,
A little limited, I guess.
limited duties for his hand,
Yeah, I talked to him today.
yeah.
Treasurer?
We had the town auditors here last week to do their field work, so I'm still working with them now over the phone. And Mike, I talked to you before the meeting about doing the monthly reconciliations, so we'll coordinate that with you. And then Carrie and I were looking at the summer meeting schedule, so the dates that we were looking at were June 4th, July 3rd, and August 20th. Does that look good? The August 20th is good because Dorothy, the grand list and all that will be lodged by then, hopefully, and then we can set the tax rate on August 20th.
July 3rd's a Thursday.
Yeah, oh, it is?
Yeah, it would be
Oh,
the
okay.
second.
Okay, then the second, I'm sorry. What about June 4th? Did I screw that up?
Hold on, I'm looking. Yeah, did you look at the wrong year? No, you got that one right.
Okay,
August.
Yeah, look at-
I hate when I do that. What was the August date?
20th?
That's right too.
okay, all right, so July 2nd, so sorry about that. That's better.
It is better, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, wait a
yeah.
second, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah. So then one more thing, Spectrum contacted me about our connection with internet. They think that we can get it faster, what have you. I've talked with Gary, and then Spectrum is looking into adding fire department to the Spectrum, because right now they're on Fairpoint to help with their speed issue, and they're checking on the highway garage, but I don't think it goes that far, but they're checking, so I'll know more at the end of next week.
But when broadband comes through, that will be going.
That's right, that's
Yeah.
right. So, I mean, if we can save some money, we can save some money, but it's not,
Right.
you know, I'm only doing it if we save money, you know,
Yeah.
because we're fine here. It's just, if we can add them,
Right,
you know, we might as well.
yeah, okay. Town clerk, do you have anything from Carrie?
No,
Okay.
no.
Dorothy, assessor?
Just a lot of business as usual, just working on everything, so.
Good, thank you. Dan, zoning, health officer?
Yeah, there's quite a bit going on. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was the water issue going to the garden out here. Before, we had a timer on it for a certain amount of hours a day that it would flow. They had a leak, and for some reason, the timer got taken off that end of it, so the water just flowed forever, and that was part of the problem with the water we had here.
This
So I'm
was-
suggesting,
Last year that happened.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm suggesting to the folks this year that they get me a timer. I'll set it up so it's on this end, so they don't have to touch it or anything, and keep it that way. And if there is a leak, have them notify me so I can fix it, because it's just packs.
We had Aiken come, plumbing and heating came this week to add the extra line. He said there's no way. the concrete and then the ledge, he'd have to get an excavator here to do it, and we're not doing that, so, I mean, I don't think
No.
that's what we want, expected.
This, just getting a timer, the timer worked well the first year. I don't know what happened. I wasn't involved in the setup of last year, but apparently the timer didn't get put on. But that worked well the first year. Of course, a leak's a leak, you gotta fix it.
Right.
But even with the timer, if there was a leak, you wouldn't be running it 24 hours a day.
Timers are relatively inexpensive.
Yes, they are, they're very
Just make, yeah,
inexpensive. and
$20
they're
probably.
Very easy to set up and run, so.
Yeah.
There's that, the reports, I just took care of the third rabid coon in the last 6 months. I just spoke with Lisa. I've been in touch with Nate Lumsden quite a bit. He's the local game warden. He was asking me if I'd had the rabies shots. I'm gonna look into that. And I took a class on it to make sure that everything was copacetic. And he's given me the go-ahead to eliminate any future sections. There's a big problem with rabies in Newbury, Bradford, and Groton. They did a drop, but we don't know how effective that's gonna be. So, the other thing I found out is that if Carrie's here, she'd speak to it too, the dog issue. Puppies can be inoculated now at 12 weeks for rabies. And Nate said that's a big thing because even after I destroy an animal, or if the animal dies on its own in the woods, the rabies virus lives for 7 days after the host dies. So if something else came along to bite it or whatever, it would contract it. The other thing we're finding out is that if you have a rabies bite that's on a lower extremity towards the back, it may take as long as 6 months for it to reach the brain. And you don't get the hard symptoms until the last 14 to 21 days. So the one that I destroyed Sunday he was right on that edge, but he hadn't gotten to the serious signs, the symptoms, the viciousness and the frothing and all of that. He had all the other symptoms. So just something to be aware of. We've had some complaints, again, on Railroad Street with the dogs barking. Carrie and I sent out a complaint on that this morning. Had a complaint on the garbage behind their house again, same place. I've got to see the landowner on that. And that, we had a very bad dog bite, which is one of my other reports that I put in which the owner of the dog got severely bitten. And that dog I euthanized, once again with the authority from Vermont Fish and Wildlife. So that's it.
Thanks, Dan. Fire and fast, I'm assuming we don't have anything.
No, the only thing I have to say is that I believe they're starting to pave on Tuesday, so I think the fire department, need to move their rigs out, cause you won't be able to drive
Okay.
on here, so.
Are they aware of it?
I don't know,
Do you know, Dorothy?
I don't know, it's the first I've heard about it.
Okay. Can you let them know?
Yeah, so
Okay.
is that next Tuesday they're
yeah,
gonna be paving?
they're paving, so they should be out. They get here about 6:30 in the morning, so.
And probably can't drive on it for a couple days afterwards, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
I don't know the details. I think I'll know more tomorrow.
It's an overnight.
Nate will come tomorrow and Casey.
Mhm.
So I just found out today that it's Tuesday, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just need to know if we can put the trucks back in at night or what we need to do.
I don't think so, no.
Okay,
No, they'll have to stay out. I'm saying 5 days at least, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can find out from them.
okay, all right.
Update on any ongoing grants?
I heard, I've been working with the buyout. I heard that it's gonna be a little tougher for properties to qualify for the buyout program. They need to get estimates of what it would cost to repair. So I've sent them all email and a letter. We'll just see. I knew it would be a process, and it's, so, that has happened.
But if they get an estimate to repair,
I know. They wanna see how high it is, like, the gist is, that needs to be really high,
Yeah.
I think, to show that tearing it down is more efficient.
It has to be more than 50% of the assessed value, is what the damage assessment has to be. And we've already been through this once, Lisa and I have, with the assessment. I don't know why they're, well, they're just dragging their feet. But you look on television and there's advertisements every day about, if you have a flood problem, call this number for Vermont Flood Assist, and
Yeah, so I don't know if we're getting the runaround or what, but I'm doing what they say and just keep going.
shouldn't be too hard, I wouldn't think, to get somebody to give them
Yeah,
an estimate.
you might have to pay to have people come, like, to give estimates. I don't know.
Yeah,
originally, they were going with the zoning administrator's estimates, but now they're wanting contractor estimates. Because apparently, when I look at a place like the one down below the Baptist church, I can't tell that the foundation is not good.
I'm sure it's not good.
I mean, the fact that it's falling in and broken in the center would give you an idea, but apparently
part of the
not
building's
qualified.
falling off.
Yeah, so,
So that's that, and then the drainage, I think we have to, we'll be settling up with Alliance the end of May, so we'll be cutting him the rest of his money. And we ordered handicap signs, because we need one that says, say, van accessible. And I got a quote for washing this building. Larry had talked to me about it, because there's a ton of mold out back, it does need to be washed. So the guy from Williamstown came over and,
$1,950.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
Make the building look pretty after the parking lot looks pretty.
I know, I mean, it would be nice.
Yeah. And that would be if we prove that out of the building reserve fund?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, community building reserves,
1,950, is that what you said?
yeah, 1950.
19.
We could save it by not doing one of the sides of the building.
Yeah, he does break it down by size,
Yeah, he broke it down by side, so.
yeah.
this side, and,
Yeah.
Maybe not the west side.
yeah, there you go.
No one sees that.
All right, I make a motion to approve the pressure washing of the building from J.C. Soft Wash Pressure Washing for a total of $1,950.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Did the exterminator come?
Yep,
Cool.
they came and they've done all their preliminary stuff, and I am having a little difficulty getting the last part of the contract signed, but I'm holding on to the check until
Oh,
I
by
get
them, yeah.
Yeah, they gave me their contract, and I gave them mine, and they're not signing mine, so, I don't know, I'll get it.
Yeah,
but-
eventually, they wanna get paid.
Yeah,
so.
I keep telling them.
Are there less wasps?
Yes, definitely. There's a few, but it's nothing like what it was. And then we saw a lot of mice getting stuck on those black things, and we could smell one up in the gym. I don't know where it is in there. So I think it's working.
Yeah, we had that planning
If
commission
it
meeting.
smells, it's at least it's not running.
Right, it's not,
Right.
right. And we've had none in the food shelf, so that's an improvement, so it's really
We
good.
had the planning commission meeting upstairs, there
Oh.
were wasps everywhere.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, right after they left, they were all like me, they were trying to figure out where to go, it was a lot around, but,
we're on grants, right? So the planning commission last night, maybe I'll start with the VORIC grant instead. The VORIC grant, Blue Mountain has started to strip the rail bed. So basically the top layer's off. I haven't gone from Powder Spring over yet. I don't know if they've done that yet. Have you looked down?
I haven't,
Yeah, I drove from Little Italy down to Clough Farm, like actually right after that email came in, and I was like, was that me speeding? 3. It wasn't. The email came at 9:30. I drove through at like 10:15, just to see what they'd found, what they'd done so far. And it looks like they just stripped the top layer, cleared a couple of things off to the side. Didn't look like any surprises were found.
Good.
So that was good. I guess, next step would be they're gonna start adding material and grading. It seems like, I think they're doing this job as other jobs finish, mainly the Boulder Beach parking lot.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
Yeah, they were gonna pull guys off that as they could, then the pavers were delayed, so they started some of the work here, but then sent them back there, and something like that. But yeah, I think it's gonna start in earnest here shortly, hopefully. After that, in go signs, kiosks. The Cross Vermont Trail actually put together some really nice signs that are gonna go at the intersections that show where the village is and businesses and things like that.
Are we going to have the gates up?
The gates, so we have the state told us we could reach out to them like right now if we wanted to get our grant amended to add the gates, if we have the budget to do it. Looking at the budget, we don't have.
Okay.
If we do, it wouldn't be the whole amount, so we would be looking at maybe the $1,000 that's left, which is a possibility. We could have them amend the grant to maybe add a month or something, plus that as a task, and then we have to the gates need to get here to Groton. So we have donated gates from Cross Vermont Trail. They look exactly like the gates on West Shore Road and Lakeside Drive, but they're not painted. So they're just bare steel.
Are they galvanized?
Galvanized. They'd have to be put together, and I think we might have to buy the hardware.
And this is to go where?
They were donated to us. The last select board accepted the donation, and it kind of had discussion about where they would go, but never really settled on it. But we were thinking, our group was thinking they would go Clough Farm to the first driveway on Little Italy Road. Yeah. And then I was debating, do we have just like a boulder placed maybe at that little stretch between Little Italy Road and that first driveway? There should be no reason for vehicles to access that small little stretch. Maybe have a boulder placed in
The only thing is, snowmobile season.
That
I
gets
knew I
open.
was forgetting something.
That gets open.
Yeah, and it's such a short path that it really is nothing. I forgot about snowmobiles. All right, good. So we won't do that.
December
So the gates-
15th to April 15th, it would be open.
Yeah.
Or when the snowmobile season closed.
So how many gates did you get? 2. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
And bikes can get around them?
Yeah, they would, the Cross Vermont Trail would build like a little, you've seen them do this when they
Yeah.
built the other gates, they make like a little path around.
Yeah.
They would volunteer probably to do it, or, if we're having a contractor out there digging the holes, they could maybe take what they dig and set it around the side.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good.
But Cross Vermont Trail really likes to go out and make sure that those spots are bike friendly, so
Yeah.
they'll have some volunteers out probably checking.
Wow.
So that was donated, I think, a year and a half ago.
Oh, I'd forgotten that.
You forgot? Yeah, that was when the select board also approved for the Cross Vermont Trail to make a small section of trail behind the depot where the snowmobile trail goes. So this would be to install like one culvert in the wet spot, and the trail would be not as wide as the town rail bed. It would be just like wide enough for a couple bikes. Gary liked the idea for how they were constructing it for the groomer. We like the idea. It's not paid for by the grant. This would be a Cross Vermont Trail funded thing. And the Cross Vermont Trail, just like Buckaroos, kind of have this relationship with the town where, sometimes they'll fix a culvert, sometimes Buckaroos will fix a culvert, sometimes the town will fix a culvert, so everyone kind of pitches in a little bit. But they were looking to do that. I don't know when. We were trying to correspond it with this project, but I don't think that happened. So. Really, they just need a load of dirt, a couple of guys, wheelbarrows, and they're going to put it out at some point. So everything looks like it's going well. The signs, stickers have been ordered. You'll be getting an invoice for stickers, and then an invoice for metal backing from Robco. And then we're making a wooden piece for those 2 metal signs. It's gonna look pretty good. I didn't bring in my computer to show it, but it'll look good, I think. Yeah, so that's VORAC. To Planning Commission, we reviewed the contract that NVDA provided for the municipal planning grant work last night, and we made a motion to recommend to the select board, the Planning Commission, actually I shouldn't say we, because I'm just an ex officio member, I didn't vote, but the Planning Commission voted to recommend that the select board sign and execute the contract with NVDA for our planning grant, and that it met the needs of the grant and what we're looking for the town plan update. So as a non-voting member of the Planning Commission, I can make a motion that we sign the contract with NVDA for the municipal planning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless there's discussion.
So was that a motion?
That was a motion.
All right, second.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright, so, I'm just gonna go into a planning commission update if that's okay while I'm here. Or should I wait? Wait?
Yeah,
We'll
no,
drop it at
no,
the end.
no, it's good. Go ahead.
The town plan readoption that's gonna take place, that's the select board has to make the decision. It's gonna be that July 2nd meeting, that's why I knew that one. So I'm gonna put a notice in the paper for that. So that'll be a public hearing, to readopt the town plan. We had one with the planning commission, no one came. Probably similar here, we'll see. The other planning commission, we had a potential or a prospective commissioner join us last night, Walter Morse. And he is interested in joining the commission, so I guess do I make a motion to to send a nomination letter, or do we send a nomination letter first?
I think we kind of
That's
need
an
to get a
appointment, I don't
nomination
think-
letter, don't we, from the planning?
I don't think so. I think in the past, we've gone to the select board and said, oh, we recommend this person for the open.
Yeah, and then we just
And-
send the letter.
And then we send the letter and they say yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Walter Morse, it's
How do you spell his last name?
Morse.
Oh, Morse, okay,
Yep.
that's what I wrote, but,
It's State Forest Road,
All right.
2185, I think.
all right,
So that makes us have a full slate, plus myself as an ex officio, non-voting member.
okay.
When I call the ZBA, do we have to post that in the paper? Does the planning commission have to post that?
I don't think in the paper. I've never seen it posted in the paper
Okay,
before.
all right,
I think just 3 places around town.
okay.
I haven't seen it in the paper, but
As I said before, the floodplain paperwork is really nebulous on it. It's from 2005. It should be updated and upgraded.
yeah.
Okay.
So you're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Open to the public and other business? Anybody, anything? No? Ball field, Lisa, what's that?
Ball field was really for Larry. I think he has talked to the person that helped us with a plan for the 2 ball fields. And I think it's next week that he will come and look at the 2 fields and give his recommendations on the work that needs to be done. So I think that was the gist of that.
Yeah, I think it was both looking at what needs to be done now and how to maintain it like going forward without, sort of just doing some work and having it sit there for 10 or 15 years before you do something
Right.
like that.
Yeah. Okay. And stone wall,
I think that's by the church on
Yeah.
Powder Spring.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
I was thinking something
Out back,
different.
no.
All right.
I think
Is
it's
it-
that
Yeah,
stone wall
it's
Larry
By
has,
the Methodist church,
Yeah,
Haven't done anything.
yeah.
before it caves into
Yeah,
Powder
I
Springs.
don't know what to do.
yeah, that's,
that was, you were talking before about possibly
well, there's grant opportunities.
to be able to bring that into just one entrance out onto 302.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, like, the 3 of us talk about it, because it depends what size project you wanna do, really. I mean, you could go to V-Trans and say, well, we're looking to do this whole intersection, plus get funding for like downtown type stuff, if you really wanted to follow through, like SE Group, when they did their plan for the park over there, their traffic study portion identified all our sidewalks, identified the sidewalks on Powder Spring, identified the wall, identified this intersection as a problem. And if you know, if you have those, if you go to like, if you go for a grant to address all of that, it's possible.
Which is what we should do.
Yeah, so that you kind of have to pick what, either just try and do everything, and I think the first step would be to contact whatever granting person at V-Trans, or I'm pretty sure it's V-Trans or ACCD, it might be ACCD too, because it's a village center.
Now, would you take and do away with the road that comes this side of the Methodist church?
The select intersection, Flag Street,
Yeah, that comes up and comes to the left,
the way they
bring it
recommended.
back out onto 302?
Yeah, they recommended dropping Flag Street, so the first one here, and then making the intersection more square. And then also that allows pedestrians to understand the intersection better. Because right now, I parked there for town meeting, and I was like, when I walked across, I was just like, okay, I'm walking across like 4 roads to go
Well,
across one road.
the other thing is, someone coming down 302 and pulling in there, they actually have the right of way, but nobody ever gives them the right of way.
Yeah, yeah, so it's an unsafe intersection.
And in the winter, it's ridiculous with the snowbanks. You cannot see.
It also would make a nice little common right
It would be
there
a
too.
beautiful little common. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
And that's already town property, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I could take a next step on that, and either, so there's, you know, it's that, I can have the V-Trans people come in. There's interest from business owners in town and other people to be a part of any sort of effort with that.
Yeah, that would be good.
Because it's kind of, you know, for downtown businesses, it's important to them that things look better there, and,
Well, safety too.
yeah, there are a lot of aspects to it. Plus, Harold has the bridge on the schedule for 2 years from now, so there's a possibility there might be some improvements to
Incorporate some of
see.
that.
Yeah, you know, and maybe you have 2 grants going on that one project, where one's his bridge grant and the other's like making that safer thing. So yeah, maybe I just contact V-Trans and see if there's someone who can come to one of our meetings, or do I,
Give us information.
or get
what
some
we need to do.
information? Because I have the names of the grants from the report, lays out all the different grants that could help us with downtown. So it's just contacting the grantors. People.
Do you want us to put that on the agenda for next meeting?
Yeah, let's keep that. Yeah, let's do that. We gotta follow
Okay.
up on that.
You get that, Harley?
And probably the ball field too, because I think it's next week, Jocelyn Sports or whatever the company's name is comes.
Okay, yep. I can move those to.
So the offer letter.
Yes, offer letter for Justin, we need to make a motion on that.
Do we have the offer letter? Do you have it up?
I think Tom has it.
I think we have that right here. Yeah, it's right here.
Believe he's accepted it with Larry on email.
So he just needs to
Is
sign.
that the letter that's gonna go to him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I just see it before we sign it, to see what it says?
There's no signing. It's only Justin signs it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Justin signs it.
Yeah,
Was this was an email to me, was it?
Yes, it was.
Oh, it was? Yeah.
we need to get a motion on the floor first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you can
So,
discuss it.
do we make a motion for the hourly rate and everything here?
No,
Just
we
his
just
position.
basically make a motion to offer him the position
Yep.
of assessor starting
July 22nd.
July 22nd.
So yeah, I'll make a motion to appoint Justin Mason, town assessor, starting July 22nd, 2025,
Okay,
and to send him the offer letter.
and I second that. Okay, now we can discuss it. Now
Okay.
Dorothy can take a look. Well, is there anything in there that's not supposed to be public, do we?
Sounds an assistant assessor, right?
What's that?
He would be the town assessor.
Yeah,
Assessor.
And
He's
then,
not being appointed as the assessor, is he?
yes, he is.
He's not qualified to be an assessor, and he's not on any of the state lists as being an assessor.
He is an assessor for one of the other towns.
He's not on the list from the state to be considered an assessor.
What's the list from the state? Can we see the list from the state? Because I looked at lists from the state too. but-
Did he accept that? Well, you said
Well, I
that
mean,
they-
over the email, he talked about
We
it.
haven't, he's not signed anything
Yeah.
yet,
Okay.
so.
All right.
And he sent Larry an email that we needed to figure out what we were gonna call him because he's not an assessor.
Well, we don't know that.
Right.
He could have information that we don't have. And the state is not up to date on its stuff.
And I know that the other towns that he's working at least one of the other towns,
He's
he
doing
is
assessment
the
work.
assessor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he does have the experience there.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, we don't have to send this out now, correct?
No,
So we can research this to make sure that we have got all our ducks in a row before we actually.
yeah, I mean, I would get in touch with him again, just to make
Right.
sure we're still in the process.
Right, but I don't wanna go, put something through if we don't
Right.
have all that
I'm just
information.
wondering, doesn't he have the same qualifications that you have? I thought you guys were the same level.
It's an appraiser. A VPA one is an appraiser. But there are lists from the state of Vermont of people who is an assessor and who they consider to be an assessor. And he's not on any of the lists. He's not even on the list that says he's like a trainee, which I'm on one of the lists already because I was gonna work with John to do the other reappraisal we were thinking of doing, so. He can say he's an assessor, but
It's the towns that are saying that too, though, is what.
well, that may be what some other town thinks or wants to hire him to do,
But I mean, we're saying, like, you're the interim assessor, so, and you don't have anything more for qualification than what he has.
right, and that was done when John left, just to have somebody that could sign off on paperwork and stuff if we needed it. That's how that happened, but I've got 16 years experience, he's got just barely 2, and he's not qualified to be an assessor.
Okay,
I think we need to get a different
Interim?
information.
Interim assessor, so we would make him an interim assessor until he becomes one, basically? I mean, until he has whatever class he needs.
I know that he's in the process of getting all his classes, and I know that the other towns are using him as an
As an
assessor.
assessor.
Yeah.
So I think that it's okay, but we probably better dot our i's and cross our t's
Yeah.
before we actually.
What is the list? Where's this list?
Property valuation and review, PVR. They have a whole list of who you can hire for an assessor or assistant assessor, trainees or whatever.
And review, property valuation, and
Yeah, Department of Taxes. So if you're a town and you're gonna have an assessor come in, then you look at this list and you pick one of the assessors. So like when we were gonna do the assessment that John and I were gonna do, John did paperwork to get on that list and to be qualified. The state said, yes, you're qualified to do this.
so you have to, this is like a list, you have to email someone at the state and be like, add me to the list. Because I know I could be on 1,000 lists, I refuse to be on them, I don't want my name out there as someone who.
No, you have to have
Sample
qualifications
Yeah.
to do this.
Right, but I mean, I have qualifications to be on several state lists, but I don't put my name on them.
But if he has the same
Yeah.
qualifications as Dorothy does, then he should be on the list somewhere.
Yeah.
Or at least able to be on the
Right,
list,
able to be put
whether
on
he's
the
on it
list.
or not.
Yeah, yeah.
didn't he send us certificates, or didn't I see certificates?
He had certificates the first night.
In the first one, right? Yeah, that was when I saw him. I know I haven't like seen him in the email.
So I think what we can do is we can make the motion to approve him as assessor pending verification of qualification.
Yeah. I would second that motion, the revised motion, I guess. Did I make the original?
Yeah,
You made the
revised.
original motion, but yes.
Now we're changing the motion, okay.
So you can amend the motion.
So yeah, I'll amend the motion,
Then we vote on the amendment.
that we would, alright, hold on, I'm trying to remember what the first motion was.
Your first motion was to appoint Justin as the town assessor as of July 22nd.
Thank you. So it'll be pending, the amendment will be pending, further review and pending verification, of his qualifications, I guess. Or-
Yeah.
Would we still send him the offer letter? Oh, no, the offer letter would be once that's done.
Once that's, exactly. Yeah, that way we're not holding stuff up if we find out we're okay.
Yeah.
So I second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Can I see what the letter says, please?
We can, the letter's okay?
Yeah, that's, speed signs.
It was just that, Larry been talking to Philip about the speed signs, and they put them up, on Powder Spring Road. One was a little wonky, but I think they're getting it, so it's working.
If there's any sun, it works. There hasn't been much sun, so
So I think, and then Larry was in talking about, possibility of, once we get the permits for 302 state roads, that we would get better signs that actually have a blue light on them that he's been seeing. Yeah, something, so,
And they're supposed to be contacting me too about doing a speed study. They're supposed to do that this spring, so once we get that speed study.
Was that the
then-
county?
Yeah, it was the sheriff. Once they contact me and do that, then we can start moving forward, trying and getting our ducks in a row to be able to purchase signs to do that.
great.
it seems like the sheriff's department right now in Caledonia County is not as up to speed as it was before the prior sheriff passed.
Yeah.
Things have been a little strange.
They just appointed the new one, right? The new sheriff? a couple
Yeah,
weeks ago.
he was appointed, and it's been different.
Yeah.
When you call for different things, it's definitely a different deal going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen the deputies here nearly as
Me
much.
neither.
No.
Yeah.
We're wondering if it's because of the construction, because they like to park in our, all
Because I
right,
talked to Bobby, and
okay.
Usually that's what there's construction going on, they like to come and get people for going fast by the construction.
yeah,
Call
because
them
it's
and tell
double
them
the
to
fine
come.
in the construction area.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you sign it.
All right. Orders are signed, you've got everything you need, right,
Yeah,
Lisa?
I think so, yeah.
Items for our next select board meeting, we had that one thing there that you're gonna do.
The V-Trans,
Yeah,
or
V-Trans.
the contact grantors or something, where did I write that?
Yeah.
There we go. That should help.
And the ball field, we'll
Yeah.
stay on that. And, I guess that is it. Hopefully by then, our parking lot will be all done.
Yes.
When's this floor getting painted? Is that happening anytime soon? Or is it?
Matt is, this cement really needs to cure longer, so we're thinking after fall foliage day.
Got it.
Because this floor really gets worked on fall foliage, so we'll do it after.
Yeah, plus it's so wet down here, it's
Yeah.
gonna take a long time
Yeah.
for that to cure.
I mean, it looks really dry, but they say it isn't.
Yeah.
So Matt none will do it, he did it before, and he'll do the hallway and stuff, and I believe he gave us a price already, can't remember what it was, but I told him now it's not until the fall.
Did you have anything on that, Dorothy?
No. I just don't understand how he's coming in as an assessor. When most of the conversation was that he was gonna be coming in and working with me.
Yes, he still is, but what we were doing is, we've always been doing, trying to find an actual assessor to take over for what we had before. You were the interim assessor, and then you would go back to your assistant once we found one.
Okay.
That'll be the next meeting.
And yeah, we should probably just bring that up again next meeting,
Yeah.
just so that we
Yeah, so that's
have verified qualifications and all that, and make sure that we're good to go ahead with that. I know he's in the process of getting his certificates and all of that, but I'm under the understanding that he is an assessor now in the other towns, but
I assume the same thing, and also, it may be a matter of just having him call the right people to get put on the list, as Mike said.
yeah.
I know I've been put on 3 lists now that I didn't even know I was on.
I saw your name on one of those.
Yeah, it's,
Okay. I guess that's it.
okay.
Take a motion to adjourn,
I'll second that.
all right? All those in favor?